So today's lesson is about conditional type 3. Okay, are you ready? Let's go. The type 3 conditional refers to the impossible condition in the past and its probable result in the past. These sentences are truly hypothetical and unreal because it's now too late for the condition or its result to exist, which means that the conditional type 3 is unreal condition, which means that it cannot be realized in the present or future because it is occurred in the past. That's why we call it an. Now we are going to see how conditional type 3 is formed. Okay, it's plain to see that a conditional type 3 is formed from two main clauses, the if clause and the main clause. Okay, the if clause is what we call the cause, and the main clause what we call the result. If the cause happen, it means that the result automatically will happen. Okay, in the if clause the verb is put into the past perfect, and in the main clause the verb is put such would plus have plus past plus a past participle. Okay, in general we can say that the third conditional its form is such: if plus subject plus past perfect, comma, then subject, then would or would not, plus have, plus past participle. Okay, we can start with the if clause and we can start with the main clause, but you must put in your mind that if we start with the if clause, we must put comma between the two clauses. Okay, and if we start with the main clause like subject plus would or would not plus have plus past participle plus if plus subject plus perfect, if we start with the main clause, we don't have to put a comma between the two clauses, such in like we have in the example that I'm going to show you. If Nizar had worked hard, he would have passed the exam. Here we start with the if clause and we put a comma here between the two clauses. But in second sentence, he would have passed the exam if Nizar had worked hard. Since here we start with the main clause, we don't have to put a comma between. Okay, now we are going to see the use of the conditional type 3. We use conditional type 3 when we imagine what could or would might have happened in the past if the condition have been fulfilled. It is impossible for this to happen because we are talking about the past, which means that we cannot change situations. Since here we talk about the past, we cannot change the past. That's why we call the conditional type 3 is unreal condition. We cannot change it. Like in the example here, we are going to explain here some examples. Like if I had known you were in hospital, I would have visited you. This is unreal situation. Why? Because the real situation is that the reality is that I did not know you were in hospital, and I did not visit you. This is the reality. The reality is that I did not visit you because that I did not know you were in hospital. Okay, another sentence here. If Sarah hadn't met her mother, she wouldn't have gone with her to the cinema. This is unreal situation, and the reality and the real situation is that Sarah met her mother and she went with her to the cinema. This is the reality and this is the real case. A third case. If Messi hadn't scored 2 goals, Barca wouldn't have won Champions League. This is unreal because the reality is that Barca won Champions League and Messi scored 2 goals. This is the reality. And the hypothetical or the unreal situation is that when we put just a condition, we are making a condition or just making suggestion, something that unreal. Okay, the reality is that Messi scored 2. Reality. Now we are going to see some exercises. Okay, here we go. I stayed in sun all day. My face has got sunburned. Okay, this is the real case. This is the reality. Now we are going to make a condition. Okay, we are going to make a condition. If I hadn't stayed in sun all day, my face wouldn't have got sunburned. Okay, conditional type 3 is always against the reality. If we have the first sentence in the affirmative, surely the condition will be in a negative form. You must put this in your mind. Okay, another sentence. I was fired because I had an argument with the manager. This is the real case and the reality. This is what had occurred in the past. But we are supposing something else. We are going to say, if I hadn't had an argument with my manager, I wouldn't have been fired. This is unreal. The reality is that I was fired. Okay? The third sentence. I didn't win the race. I didn't start training in time. Okay? Who can answer this question? Yes, good. If I had started training in time, I would have won the race. This is that I'm just supposing. I'm wishing. Just I'm making a wish. Okay? Or just regret. A kind of regret. Okay? Here. I wasn't careful enough and I have cut my finger. This is the real case. Okay? Who's gonna answer this sentence? Yes, you? Good, that's it. If I had been careful enough, I wouldn't have cut my finger. Yes, that's it. Another sentence. I didn't wake up on time. I didn't catch the bus. This is what we call the reality. Now we are going to make a supposition, okay? A wish, a kind of wish, okay? If I had woken up on time, I would have caught the bus. Yes, the last sentence. I didn't practice enough and so failed my driving test. Yes? You? Yes, good. If I had practiced enough, I wouldn't have failed my driving test. Good. Try to practice more and more sentence with conditional type 3 and to find it is very easy to note situation. Try to note situation and you will find it that it is very easy. Now we are going to have some fun. We are to taste ourselves a little bit with some tongue twisting. Okay? Are you ready? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Try to repeat it so quick to find that your English we are going to improve bit by bit. That's why the tongue twister are used for. Goodbye and see you next time.